Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Chris Time, and today we're going to be installing some underglows on the Type R. Let's go. So 2 years ago, underglows were installed on the FK7, and a lot of you guys were asking how exactly I did it, but the problem with that was I wasn't the one that installed it. It was one of my buddies that installed it. I just placed the camera down and did it like a little time lapse of him installing it. I didn't do anything. I didn't even lift a finger when he installed it. I was just chilling in his garage and he did all the work. So this time I'm gonna be installing these underglows on my car and see if I actually can do it. Because if I can do it, you can too. Let's get started. So here is a quick unboxing of the product. You already know this came from ONEUP lighting, and this is called Underglow X. Now if we open up the box, we have a bunch of zip ties and a bunch of screws. Then we have the underglows itself. This module right here has a QR code. It looks like an app that you would have to install on your phone. And then we have what looks to be like some wires that you'd have to connect to your battery in order for us to get some power into these. Looking at it, it looks super simple because all you have to do is just stick these LED strips underneath your car, and then this would have to go onto your battery. So as you can see, I jacked up the car and I laid out the LED strip for the sides. It's not quite a perfect fit. There's gonna be about half a foot of space that has no LED. So what you're gonna want to do first is test out the lights to see if it's actually working. And to test out the LEDs, so all you have to do, I'm gonna bring this box right here so that you guys can see, is you're just gonna connect these to your battery. So red being positive, black is negative. Take this cover off like that. You don't have to bolt this on or anything. You just have to like let it touch the terminal and connect this to the negative or ground and watch your LEDs light up. If you don't test out the lights before you install it, after you install it and you try to turn them on and you find out that it's broken or it's defective, then all your work was just a waste and you're gonna have to take it all apart. And yeah, that's why it's important to test this out first. So I took 3 screws off. They're just Phillips screws on this side. And then over here, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that were here. So as you can see, I took those off just so that I can get access to the fender liner. I then went ahead and detached the LED strips because you can unplug these. Fed the wire through. I started off by feeding the LED strip through here because as you can see, there's just an empty space through here. So I went ahead, fed the light strip through there, and then I just guided my hand through here, and then I pulled the LED strip out until it came out like that. For taking off screws, if you're like me and you're lazy and you don't want to take your wheels off, this tool right here is the most handy tool ever. So it looks like for the passenger side, we may have run into a problem because of the windshield washer reservoir right here. So right here, I didn't feed this through anything yet, as you can see. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be bringing it over here. I'm just going to stick the wire right on top of the cap because I am lazy. And then later on, this kit does come with zip ties, so I'm going to be zip tying it together. Just remember to bring this, because you're going to be needing this, because it's going to suck if you forget to bring this, and this little cap thingy is all the way down there, so you have to pull the cord out. So make sure this goes over here. You can either get tape and just tape it on, but I don't put anything on, so I just make sure that this little locking mechanism is right here. So I'm just gonna feed this down here. And then just let gravity do its thing. So if you look down there, see that windshield washer reservoir? So you can easily just go around it. It's right here where your side marker's at. Right around here, you can pull this little tab right here and try to see if you can find the wire. If not, just keep on feeding the wire, or have somebody to help you. Try to just feed the wire through, and then you can pull from this end, which I'm gonna try doing by myself. Got it! Oh my god, yay, I got it! Woohoo! Okay, once you get it, just keep on pulling it. So about right there is fine. And then just tuck it underneath right here until you reach this part right here, because you're gonna have to connect the front ones, which I'm gonna be doing. Connect these two together, just like this. Nice and tight. Tighten. Are you kidding me? Alright, so you're just going to keep on pulling the wire until about right here is fine. Then, you're going to grab your other wire for the front. Take this, and you're going to connect these two together. Just like that. Make sure you remember to tighten it. So it looks like that. Okay, nice and tight. And then you're just gonna feed this through right over here. Stick it in like that. All the way down here. There you go. Okay, so that part's done. Alright guys, so for the rear, what I did was I popped the rear bumper out just like that. I unscrewed 1, 2 before I popped this out, so it's popped out like that. Then if we go over here on the other side, so there was 2 screws right here, 1 and 2, and then I just pulled this over like this. And then I basically just fed the wire, the LED strip through here, grabbed it from this side, and then I pulled. So now I have this. Okay, so went ahead and put it on. Obviously I used the heat gun. Now this was a little bit longer because we do have that triple exhaust over there. So I had to adjust this. So what I did was I stuck it on through here. I put the LED through here, and then I zip tied it on this little thing right here so that it'll stay in place. And then I don't know, I'm gonna leave it like this to see how it is. If it does fall or if it does peel off, at least I have this zip tie holding it in place so that this whole thing wouldn't come off. same thing over here. As you can see, I ended it right here before I hit the exhaust. I was gonna put it right here so that I wouldn't have any excess, but the heat from the exhaust might touch the LED strip and then it might melt. So I was a little bit concerned. So I just ended it right here and right there. So basically this part right here doesn't have any underglow. Now comes the front. So if we go underneath, right here is where I'm going to be mounting the strip in front of this thing, because if you put it behind, then the light's not going to show through. So I'm going to be putting it right in front. That way, when I do turn the underglows on, it'll light the front up. This is where the wire is going to be coming out, right there, and it's just enough space for me to stick the LED on. So the connecting wire is hidden in there away from the elements, which is good. Okay, next step. So as you can see, I have no intake on. That's because I am going to be feeding the wire through here. So if you look over here, there's a hole right there. You can see the ground right there. So if you're like me and you're alone in the garage, what I came up with is I'm gonna grab a cord, any sort of cable or cord. You could use a hanger that's wired. So what I'm gonna do to this cable right here is I'm just gonna feed it through right over here, right in there. And you see where that hole is right there that I was talking about? That's where we're gonna try to shoot this cable into so that we can tie the cables together here. I almost got it. There you go, just like that. So make sure that this is on something, all right? So, because you don't want this falling and then you're gonna have to start the process over again. But to me, that took at least 30 seconds for me to do. And now, if we look down here, all the way down here, we can see the cable, okay? So tie these together onto this white cable right here. Again, you wanna make sure that these little tightening caps, or whatever you wanna call them, is here. Once you tie the cable together, you're simply just gonna go like this, feed it through the hole. Just like that. Now that it's in the hole. So if I were to pull on this now, look at this. Ta-da! Easy. Easy, easy. So easy. Now the cables are right here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take these cable connectors, and there's like a gap right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to feed the wires through here. So it goes in like that, okay? Then I'm just gonna set this off to the side. And you wanna make sure that when you turn your car on, none of these wires is gonna be hitting the fan. So the fan for the radiator is right here. So obviously you don't want the wire to be touching that. So zip tie them somewhere where it could be nice and secure. So for the final wiring system, as you can see, I have a bunch of zip tied wires onto some hoses, like I showed you earlier. And I put double-sided tape on this, Gorilla tape. And then I just stuck it on right there. And then I ran the wires through here. And now it's time to actually hook these up into the battery terminal. Grab your wire stripper, and I usually go to 14 so that I can strip these wires. Right here, just about. Okay. You're gonna squeeze and pull See, it's like coming out slowly. So just keep on pulling until you have this whole thing exposed. Then you're gonna want to do the same thing on the negative. So the underglows are done. This is how I wired it. So I have the box sitting right here. Originally, I wanted the box to sit down here. There wasn't enough space for the box because the wires needed space. So I went ahead and stuck the box right here instead. I used double-sided tape. As for the wires, here's the positive. I just took the bolt off and then I fed the positive terminal there. And then for the negative one, there you go. I put it on the strut tower right there. So yeah, that's how I have it set up. So I drove this car in this, I was about to say snow, but I drove this car in the rain previous days in heavy rain. And the lights have been holding up really well. As you can see right here, it's still on. This is what the side looks like. And you can see watermarks right there. Like I said, it's been raining for the past couple days. LEDs are holding up strong. Here's the rear. Even though we didn't completely stick the rears on, it's still holding up and it's not peeling off whatsoever. Here's the other side. Then if we go over here in the front, same thing, LEDs are not coming off. They're all stuck underneath there, even with the heavy rains and all that stuff. All right, guys, so here is the car with the underglows turned on. Look how nice and bright these lights are. And then if we go on the phone, so it's controlled by an app, so you would have to download the app. So if you go to the app, it looks like this. So you can control it with your phone. So let's say if I want to make it green, pink, red, and then there's also different modes right here. So if you want like a little RGB kind of thing, that's how you can do it. This mode called automatic loop, it basically cycles through all the modes that this LED strip has to offer. So as you can see, it's doing its thing right there. And it looks really cool. And this is nice, especially if you're at a car meet and it's being held in the dark. So you can put on like a little light show. Here, let me just go around the whole car so that you guys can see what it looks like. This is the rear. And I obviously didn't put the LED strips where the exhaust is at, because I didn't want to risk melting the LED strips. So there you go, guys. There's a walk around of the car when the LED strips are turned on. So for the rear, you can actually see the strips right here. And it's really noticeable. Let's see how far this can reach. If I were to stand right here and I were to change the color to green, it still changed color. But if I were to stand farther away, let's keep on walking, guys. All right, let's see if it still reaches. Yellow, pink. Okay, yeah, so it still reaches from here. So you get a pretty good distance. I'm about 20 feet away from the car. As you can see right here from my screen, the car is like far away. But yeah, it covers a pretty good distance. So I'm gonna change it white. It still reaches. And I am now on the other side of the parking lot. Like, you can't really see the car anymore on camera because it's so far away, but I'm gonna be trying to change it. It's not reaching because, oh wait, it changed. See, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it changed green. Now I'm gonna change to blue. Yep, there you go, it changed. So this is about a good 40 feet away from the car. So like right here, like I said, I'm on the other side of the parking lot. So I'm gonna run back. Yeah, so that was a good 40 feet away because I was standing all the way over there and the signal still reached. Now there was a bit of a delay, but it still managed to reach. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think of the installation? What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Underglow? I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. It's just a shame that they're illegal in most states. I know some states, I think it's either Maryland or Delaware, you guys can ride around with underglows on and you won't get in trouble. But here in Pennsylvania, that's a no-no. You can't be putting underglows on your vehicle, unfortunately. Hopefully that changes in the future.